cruise news time, and wow, we have some big stories today. Probably the biggest is the acknowledgement from the CDC that they are evaluating the pre-cruise testing policy. And could this be signaling maybe the end of pre-cruise testing? Maybe not. Also, Carnival speculating that they could have a no-kids cruise, adult-only Carnival. Wow. Big news from Disney Cruise Line, news from Crystal Cruises, and how about this? What would have been the world's largest cruise ship capacity-wise, well, part of it may be going to the scrapyard. Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. Well, let's talk the CDC story right out the gate. Cruise Hive, a very popular cruise blog on the internets, as it were, they reached out to the CDC and said, hey, in light of the fact that you changed the recommendation for international travelers to have a test when they're flying into the United States, what does that mean for the cruise industry? Are you even thinking about us? Well, the CDC sent an email back to Cruise Hive, said, well, as a matter of fact, we are in the process of reevaluating the testing policy for cruise ships. Now, if that's where the statement ended, that may be cause for applause. Hoo-hoo. However, they went on to say, hey, Cruise Hive, just a reminder that cruising is different than aeroplane flying. They went on to remind Cruise Hive that cruising is in fact a congregate residential setting with high, rates of secondary transmissibility. In layman terms, it's, cruising's different than aeroplanes, and you're more likely to get the COVID packed on a cruise ship than you are on an aeroplane. That's the stance of the CDC. And just a reminder, and this isn't in the CDC statement, cruising is not a U.S. activity. It's not a U.S. business. These are foreign companies doing business in the United States, and every, cruise for the most part, I know those things don't reconcile. The majority of cruises involve international travel. That's the rules in the United States. Every cruise that leaves the United States, for the most part, the majority, there has to be a component of international travel to even make that cruise thing happen. So we've got the CDC dealing with foreign entities that do international travel originating in the United States. It's a little different than the aeroplanes, and the CDC just wanted Cruise Hive to know that. So what does that mean? The fact that they're reiterating that cruising is different than other forms of travel, because the cry has come from all sectors that it's unfair the way that the cruise industry has been treated. The cruise industry should be treated the same as airplanes and baseball games and hot dog stands, all that stuff. But look, I think if we're being realistic, cruising is different than all of those things. And so I think if we want to get somewhere, we have to acknowledge that cruising is different and work through that differences to get to the place that we want to go, which I assume that's what the cruise leadership is doing. But yeah, so what does that mean? What does that mean? Will testing go away? Again, the thing that they sent to Cruise Hive, it doesn't seem like they're ringing the bell that testing's going to go away. What I would anticipate is that we will have some sort of qualified testing. I think you'll see language. This is me speculating, just a prediction. I bet you that testing is going to get tied to boosters in some way. I hope I'm wrong. Again, this is me looking into the future. I could be completely off, but it would not surprise me if testing is somehow tied to your level of vaccination. And so the CDC has different language. You're fully vaccinated if you've had the 2-shot Moderna or the 2-shot Pfizer. You're fully vaccinated if you've had the 1-shot Johnson & Johnson, but you're not up to date with your vaccinations if you haven't had booster 1 and booster 2, depending when you were fully vaccinated. So there's a whole time schedule in there. So it would not surprise me if we come out of this thing, and I think it would be okay, right? At least it's something. I think that eventually we'll get to a place where maybe you don't have to test if you are up to date on your vaccination, or maybe they'll just do away with testing altogether, or maybe they will just leave it as it is. Again, we have just a breadcrumb of a hint as to what's going on. The only thing we know for certain is that the CDC is looking at pre-cruise testing and also continuing with their conversation that cruising is different, and so therefore it will be treated differently So we will continue to watch it, but it's big. It's big that they're talking about it, and I know many of us would like to see the pre-cruise testing go away. Again, change my mind. Somebody send me a pile of data saying we've turned away 1 million people because we pre-cruise tested them, and if they're really keeping a lot of people off of cruise ships. I know people do test positive and aren't able to go on their cruise, but is it a number big enough for it to make that policy make sense? Again, no published data out there on that. So pull back the curtain. Let us see. Maybe that'll help our brains a little bit. Okay. I told you today was going to be the hot lick. There's a lot going on. That was just cruise news story numero uno. Let's slide in with something a little more. Carnival. Could you imagine an adults-only Carnival cruise? I'm going to talk about this idea is being bandied around by people at Carnival. But before we get there, let's talk about Crystal Cruises. You guys know the saga of Crystal Cruises, owned by Genting. Genting ran out of money, therefore Crystal ran out of money, therefore the cruise lines that were owned by Genting out of money. And so that's affected like Dream Cruises. Of course, it's affected Crystal Cruises. And to the fact that Crystal Cruises owed money, their ships were seized and held off the coast of the Bahamas until they could be liquidated, auctioned off. And we talked about it last week that possibly the Crystal Endeavor sold to Regent Seven Seas. We're still waiting for an official announcement on that. But we do have an announcement about the disposition of the Crystal Serenity and the Crystal Symphony. They were both auctioned off. The Crystal Serenity was sold for $103 million. And then also the Crystal Symphony was sold for $25 million. So one of those obviously valued more than the other. And with those price tags being attached to those cruise ships, the speculation is that you will see those ships in service again for another cruise line. So that's a good story. Some classic cruise ships not going to the scrapyard, but it's kind of closing the book on what was known as the brand of Crystal Cruises. It doesn't mean that brand can't be resurrected from like the phoenix rising from the ashes, like Jean Grey. Hopefully it's not a dark phoenix type cruise scenario. No, I'm just kidding. We're too far diverging. There you go. Crystal. It's Happy Tuesday, everybody. We're back home. How about that? Yeah, Crystal. All right, let's go. Cruise news story number 3, related to cruise news story number 2, cousins, as it were. We're talking about Dream Cruises also falling victim of the moneyless parent company Genting. And man, there was some big plans for Dream Cruises. They were going to build the world's largest capacity cruise ship, 9,000 people on a cruise ship. That's a lot. 9,000 people. I've been on a cruise ship with 6,000 people. That was a lot. 9,000 people. These ships were named the World Dream 1 and the World Dream 2, and they're being constructed. And the World Dream 1 is about 80% complete, and the World Dream 2 not that far along in the construction process. The lower hull has been built. And so what's going to happen in this scenario is it sounds like they're going to finish building World Dream 1 and try to sell it as a ship to another cruise line. So could you imagine if one of our favorite cruise lines, one of the bigger cruise lines, ended up with this World Dream 1 cruise ship? All of a sudden, you got the Carnival Dream 1 or the Royal Caribbean Dream 1 of the seas, and now they can put, or the MSC Dream, they'd have to make it sound Italian, Dreamama, Dramora. I don't know. That doesn't sound Italian. What's the Italian word for dream? The MSC Dream World Dream 1, the MSC World Dream 1, for example, holding 9,000 passengers. That'd be wild. So we'll watch and see who this ship gets sold to. But what they think they're going to do with World Dream 2 is just scrap it. They're just going to take what they built at the shipyard and just use it for parts. And so that's sad. That's wild. But yeah, that's the world that we're living in. And yeah, ships will get scrapped. So yeah, that's crazy. Again, we've talked about it before. It's the ebb and flow of the cruise industry right now, trying to recover from the global shutdown, trying to deal with the challenging economic situations that we're in right now. And yeah, company goes under, all these other companies are impacted, and cruise ships are now getting scrapped that haven't even sailed yet. How about that? All right, let's take a little trip with our imagination. Could you imagine a Carnival cruise ship without children on board? This is being bandied around by someone over there at Carnival. I'm going to tell you all about it, but first, let me invite you to subscribe. That seems very official. Yes, it is an official. My official invitation to you. Please consider subscribing to this show. That's the way YouTube works. It's like a notification system. You subscribe, they send you a notification, and you get to be one of the first people to see me on a daily basis. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, but you could be one of the first people to comment, be a part of the notification squad, get all the news. Look, I know where the news isn't current. Let me just say that. Somebody mentioned in the comments, oh, the stories that you were talking about was talked about by somebody else. Just so you know, I'm not in a race with anybody, right? Again, I feel like I'm fortunate that I get to give you the cruise news through my commentary, through my Tony filter, and certainly there's going to be hundreds of other people, you know. Look, every fat guy with a beard out there, they want to do cruise news because look at this, right? Right? I'm just kidding. Skinny guys with beards like to do it too. But no neck beards yet. Could we get somebody with a neck beard, like a full neck beard in cruising? That would be cool, I think. Anyways, what am I saying? I'm saying I need a little less caffeine. How about that? What I'm saying is, if you want the news, if you want to stay up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these frenetic episodes. I got bit by a radioactive spider. All right. Well, live show tonight. If you haven't seen us live in a bit, Jenny and I will be live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you are a Patreon, if you support us on Patreon, you're going to have your special small get-together Patreon at 8 p.m. So come on over for that. All right. Thank you in advance.
Wow, I got so hyped with the other stories. I forgot to tell you guys the Disney story. It's exciting Disney news, but it's a short story, right? The Disney Wish made its way to Port Canaveral yesterday, the 20th of June. Big fanfare, all that stuff. So the Disney Wish is in Port Canaveral waiting to do her first sailings. I think there's like a media sailing coming up, and then she kicks off with passengers next week. So how about that? There's the Disney story. All right, I got to finish the edit. Yo! Check out this cup I got on the road. Got to release the Kraken, baby. Or maybe it's just a big octopus. Octopi. Oh, the lid's closed. How disappointing. All right, back to the rest of the stories. Oh, yeah. So, and it's me again. I just do have to mention, I need to apologize for all the people that live in Denver. I said some things the other day that some people would find unkind. You know, hockey fans in Denver, Colorado. I had some pretty terse words. And so what I do need to apologize for this. I need to apologize for how bad the Tampa Bay Lightning crushed the Avalanche last night. Whoo! Yeah, I know the series is still 2-1. Maybe I'm a little premature in my smack talk, but wow, man, I haven't seen a beating like that in a long. Well, okay, maybe Game 2 was like that, but I didn't see Game 2. So, but yeah, apology to the Avalanche fans, not for the things I said, but for that beating that you took last night. Game 4 tomorrow. This is exciting. Tampa Bay, y'all. Tom Brady's going to be skating Wednesday, I promise. All right. Now, really, Carnival. Kids only? I'm clutching my pearls. All right, back to the show.
Here's the story. Yesterday, John Hill, brand ambassador, the main man, the big mouthpiece, the vocal dude, the cool guy without a beard over there that talks about beards over there at Carnival, said this. What would you think if we took one of our fun ships, one of our Carnival cool fun ships, and made it adults only? Well, I'd never considered that, but that does seem like a possibility because Carnival, look, like it, don't like it, Carnival has an energy, right? It's a party ship. You can have fun. You can gamble. You can drink. People are dressed up. There's attractive people on board. Hopefully cover the kids. There's a sexual tension sometimes on the Carnival cruise ships like I've not seen on other cruise ships. I got to go try Virgin Voyage because I feel like it's going to have that same adult vibe. So sometimes like those Carnival cruise ships feel very adult, but you still have a bunch of kids jam-packed in there. So I think it's an interesting idea, and it's a question that I want to kick over to you guys. Would you be interested in having that Carnival vibe, that Carnival feeling without kids on board? Do you think it would be would it be even more of a party ship? I would check it out, man. I'm such a people watcher. I'd be like, let's see what's going on with that. I think it's an interesting idea. I think that they can do it financially and still make money, which they probably know they can because they limited kids at the beginning of the restart. I think they should do it. I think people would try it. But what would you do? Leave a comment below. All right. That's all I got for you today. Was it enough? Do you feel satisfied? I feel like it worked out a little bit. Look, the rest is up to you. You can show your support for this show by hitting the like button only after you subscribe. Well, I mean, I don't want to tie those two things together, but I'm thinking you should subscribe, go ahead and hit the like button. And unfortunately, there's no punishment if you don't subscribe. I understand that. But there is a punishment if you don't like the show or dislike the show. You got to hit one of them like buttons. And look, your punishment is this. If you do not acknowledge the show with a like or dislike, well, on your next cruise, it will be all kids. You'll be like Gulliver. You'll be like the only you'll be like Yorick of Why the Last Man. That's a nerd deep cut. Anybody know some Brian K. Vaughan? You'll be like Yorick. You'll be like Gulliver. You'll be like, Charlton Heston and his astronaut friends on planet. You'll be the outcast. You'll be the only adult on a ship full of kids if you do not hit the like button. This is Tony for La Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.